Welcome to the show that talks about Tulsa. People making a difference in the Tulsa community. Spotlighting local businesses, special guest interviews, even covering the most important issues within the community no one else is talking about. The hot topics and more. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to World One Development's News You Can Use with your hosts, Mr. Charles Harper and Mr. Molly Wilson.
Got a breath. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to World One Development's News You Can Use. We want to thank everyone for either listening on the radio, watching us on Facebook Live, and on www.KBOB899.com, or tuning in to any of the News You Can Use media networks, which are powered by World One Development. We really appreciate that. I am your hostess with the mostest, Mr. Molly Wilson.
And I'm Charles Harper. It's Wednesday, a.k.a. Hump Day, June 14th, 2023. And we are live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use media networks, powered by World One Development. We are set for a super exciting show, you guys. You better call your mom and them and tell them you can dial in at 918-856-3073 or post your comments on our Facebook Live feed at World One Development.
On today's show, you know what time it is. It's the medical report with Dr. Andre Perdue. We're going to be talking about heat strokes today.
Hey, you don't want to fall out there. Also, we will talk about the latest development with the Evans fin tube. What is going on with that in preparation for tonight's meeting, which will be held at 6:30 p.m. at the Greenwood Culture Center.
And of course, our Hump Day Hot Topics, which are Juneteenth is happening this weekend. Find out what you need to know. And the Women of Color Expo. Find out who's been awarded awards.
Absolutely. This is News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use media networks, powered by World One Development. Put your seatbelt on for this one. We'll be right back, y'all. Fitting Back In is a reintegration program designed to help those released from prison to fit back into the community as productive, valuable members of society. They help schedule various classes such as anger management, substance abuse, and mental health. They also work with different programs in the community to provide job training. If you or someone you know needs help with resources in career development, employment, or housing, to find out more information, call 918-592-3500 or stop by 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
The 36th Street North Event Center is a full-scale event center where we share the experiences of the community. At the event center, you can rent space for weddings, birthday parties, receptions, events, quinceañeras, and much more. We also do custom linen and centerpieces. We're located at 1125 East 36th Street North. To book your next special event, business gathering, or community event, call us at 918-200-9046. EduRec is a youth and family fun center located at 5424 North Madison Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At EduRec, we offer a host of activities for children and families of the Tulsa community at little to no cost. To find out about the many programs, activities, and services offered at EduRec, please visit our website, www.edurectulsa.com, or just give us a call at 918-430-3947.
This is News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use media networks, powered by World One Development.
And we are back. So News You Can Use is all about shedding some light on the positive happenings in our community. There are many great businesses, organizations, and programs happening in our neighborhood, and we felt the community needed to hear about those things, one, so we can support, and two, so we can be informed.
Yep. I'm Charles Harper, Chief Executive Officer of World One Development, which includes Fitting Back In, EduRec Youth and Family Fun Center, 36th Street North Event Center, and Oklahoma Community Support Coalition. My job is to provide leadership for all aspects of World One Development with an emphasis on long-term goals, growth, profits, and of course, a return on that investment. And I am so excited and I am so elated to be one of the creators of this phenomenal show.
And I'm Damali Wilson, Chief Operating Officer for World One Development. And my job is designing, implementing business operations, and establishing policies that promote company culture and vision. I am also in charge of social media for all of the World One Development entities. If If you would like to advertise your business or organization on this show or any of our other individual platforms, please inbox me your contact information on Facebook Messenger so we can talk.
What's going on now?
Nothing much. It's hot outside.
Happy Hump Day.
Yeah,
Hump Day Wednesday.
I guess so.
We in the building. How you feeling?
You know what? I don't know. I just have kind of been in a whirlwind. It's like as soon as we hit the ground running from Omaha, it's just been boom, 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 and it's like no rest in sight.
I thought you was going to say that you got dizzy because looking up at Magic Johnson because, you 5'3",
that too.
He's 6'9".
Yeah, I was way down there. I'm like, whoa.
But
he up in the clouds.
Shout out to the Rebuilding the Village, man.
I know.
60th annual down there, boy. Shout out to the whole group that went down with us.
Exactly. Yeah, we had about 15 folks.
About 15 of us represent Tulsa, man. That's the highest level too. Let me tell y'all something. If you don't know, man, Tulsa got some representatives here, and when we go out, we shine at the highest level. Let me tell you another thing. People love Black Wall Street.
Oh my God.
All around the world. They represented 36 different cities, and everybody was talking about Tulsa. We watch you guys. We love you guys. It was so much love. So shout out to Mr. Willie Boyne and Yolanda and the whole team. Because they all are great, because they put on an amazing conference. They had 400 or 500 kids in one room, 400 or 500 with us in another room.
Yes.
Big Magic came in there.
It was huge. That was a huge, huge conference. One of the things I learned, today is the medical report.
It is.
So what I learned is that I need to keep up with my meds, MEDS.
What is that?
That means I need to meditate. I need to exercise. I need to diet. And I need to get some sleep. I learned that at the 16th annual Empowerment Expo.
That was your walk away right there?
That was one of the many walkaways. One of the nuggets that I put in my back pocket. I got to keep up with my meds.
Man, you know what I got to do?
What's that?
It is 1 million secret listeners out there, man.
Yeah.
I mean 1 million secret listeners.
Yeah.
But you know who I want to give a shout out to?
Who is that?
Man, I just really have to give a heartfelt shout out to all of the people that been calling me and texting me locally, nationally, and they like, Charles, look, man, I'm with y'all, man.
Yeah.
And I told them I understand. They said, man, I'm a little nervous, man, because I don't want to lose my jobs. People be playing with my kids, man, and I'm trying to stay settled.
That part.
But I'm tuning in. The love is there. And I'm just going to tell y'all, I understand that. But you know what? To understand it don't mean that it's right.
That's correct. And sometimes you got to draw a line in the sand.
We'll
get to that later.
Let me do some shout outs for the people who,
okay,
not the limousine and helicopters and all that, and about 1,000 platforms we streaming on. But Mr. AJ Johnson.
Hey, AJ.
Down there
Are
in the
you
J
on your
Bone
way?
Lounge, Little Rock, Arkansas. Yeah, he on his way. It's almost Juneteenth. Jeremiah, he said,
yes, hey,
all right, y'all. I'm tuning in from Mississippi. He's in the building.
Yes.
My cousin Brenda, she going to be in the building.
Brenda.
Miss Frenchelle.
Hey, Frenchelle. Oh, hey.
Is representing. Alicia Walker is in here.
Hey, Alicia.
Teresa, your sister, my sister.
Hey, sister.
And it's a whole lot of more, and I promise I'm going to get back to y'all.
Yes.
But today is the first Wednesday of the month, so you know what time it is.
Wait, before we do that, let's give a congratulations to the Denver Nuggets. I think we should do that. We've been debating ever since this series started. We've been going back and forth and back and forth. Why are you
Damali, you keeping it real because you got to give them boys their props.
Gotta give them their props. They won.
They ran through everybody.
Don't discount them.
Everybody.
The Nuggets did their thing, so I'm not
Team
mad.
ball.
Yes.
Team ball.
Charles, what you got to say? Because he ain't saying nothing.
Hey, hats off to the Joker. Because I'm a competitor.
Yes.
But when the competition is over, I'm also not a sore loser.
Okay.
No,
Shout out to Denver up there with their no breathing self and that high altitude.
No,
I hate the altitude in Denver too.
No, to me, I'll say this: Denver plays the right way.
Yeah.
They coach the right way. I love their players. Jokic, after he won the championship, he went to every Miami Heat player.
I saw him do that.
See, I ain't never seen that.
He's solid.
He's solid.
He's solid.
So he sent my boy LeBron packing.
Yeah.
That was deep.
Yeah.
That was deep. He sent him
home. Yeah.
You know what? They were still mad because of what they did to them in the bubble. You remember the bubble?
Yeah.
Oh, they sent them packing in a bad way.
Yeah.
But congratulations. It was a great NBA finals run.
Yeah.
So good stuff there.
One other thing I want to do, but before we get started, is want to give a shout out to the Beyond Apology crew. Man, it went down, and the last was, just as great as the first. So we had the last Beyond Apology event took place last night. We had none other than Miss Robin Ruth Simmons.
Man, she came
from
on
Evanston,
here.
come in and talk to the and just had a casual conversation. So I really love that panel that was assembled. So shout out to everyone who participated, because we honestly could not do this work without the folks that actually show up time after after time after time after time to, share with us as to what they want to see, what they think about the process and all of that. So we appreciate you all.
You know what I like to say about Robin?
What's that?
She right across the street from the south side of Chicago. So that means on this side, she's smiling at you looking good, but it's a little hood right there across the street. When you go to Evanston, right across the street, literally.
So don't
that's
get
Chicago.
it twisted.
It's probably not even the south side, but Chicago is right there. But shout out to her. I want to say shout out to Kevin Johnson over at Fixings.
Yes.
Because when she landed, we got a table,
We had a
and
great
I
time.
promise you, we ate chicken. We ate it to the bone marrow.
Man.
Until they finally kicked us out.
And they
was
did
there.
kick us out. They for real. They did
actually,
kick us out.
and look, Kevin, like, I'll get y'all a ride home.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta leave y'all. So shout out to the city councilwoman
Yeah.
and Christy, because we welcome her. Shout out to Greg that navigated that ship last night of the last Beyond Apology. I felt like it was heavyweight.
Yeah.
So Lori Dector, right, of course, District 1 City Councilwoman Vanessa Hall Harper. Great job with Greg, World One Development, and all of the volunteers. 'cause
Man,
it was
can't
many-
make it without the volunteers, honey.
Doc, they got their name on the seat. They don't even need a reservation.
Don't say that.
Hey, before
Look,
you
we going back tomorrow
look,
too,
look,
but don't
look,
say that.
Look, right before he dropped the beat, quick shout out to Jolie. She said, "Hey guys,
Hey,
got to roll out that for the
how
queen."
are you? Miss you too.
So, and also Miss Ernestine Broom,
Hey, Miss Broom, how are you?
just like that. It's the second Wednesday of the month. Go ahead and drop it.
Chilling on the corner in my 6th fault. Hypertension and stress. I don't need no more. 1, 2, 3 into the fault. The doctor's at the door, ready to make an entrance.
The doctor's in.
Doctor, please help us save the world.
Oh, yeah. It's time for the medical report with Dr. Andre Fredu. Right here, right now, with Charles and Damali on World One Development's News You Can Use.
What's up, Doc?
Lord.
The medical report. That's one of my favorite topics.
You know, the problem is when they come on, he start doing the Dougie. He don't even know it. Even
Right.
though he's in the thing, he be going all the way back. He don't even know. He go all the way back. He go, oh man, I'm on the show. I'm like, look at that. See,
I love it.
Hey, what's happening, family? How you doing, family?
What's going on,
Yes,
family?
he's
How are
back.
you? How you feeling?
Well, you know what? I need to have that drop probably play multiple times of the day.
That part.
because You just can't help but smile.
Yeah.
Feel good about yourself. Good what you're trying to get done.
That could be your theme music. You can just walk around with it playing.
You can.
That would be real interesting in the hospital. Be real interesting in the hospital.
Absolutely. Man, it seemed like it's been forever since I seen you. I don't know if we've been busy, you've been busy, but it seemed like
Yeah.
it's been a minute.
It has been a minute. Listen, you guys are always on my mind, always keeping you guys lifted up in prayer that
We need
everything
that.
goes well
Thank you.
in this form as well as the many different forms and venues you guys are in. Our community, our health program is going extremely well.
Man.
Yes.
So we're excited about that, and we're trying to improve the overall medical literacy in our community. So I think it's being well received.
Yes.
We just want to continue to move forward and just continue to pour into our community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
We need to make sure that you guys are listening every Friday at noon to see what fantastic information you can get, because we want you guys to be around as long as some of our survivors.
Amen.
109 years, that's a lot of years.
Amen.
So that's
Amen.
something to live up to. So if you listen to these guys, then maybe you'll be that fortunate.
And you can't be like that. You can't. Now, this is what some people are doing. I see them on the streets, and I have to tell them.
What
They be like, man, I got 12 doctors on the show, so they my primary care physician now. Boy, if you don't get to the doctor, they are not replacing. Come on, doc, tell them
Right.
something.
Hey, listen, we are here to augment the quality. We are
Yes.
not to be the primary source,
Yes.
because we cannot write prescriptions for you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing better than actually having direct dialogue and laying hands on patients. So again, we want to make sure that our community is well versed in their medical issues in particularly in our community. Know that there are several different venues that you can actually be seen in. So, some people feel like, well, you know what, if I have a problem, I'll just always go to the emergency room. Well, that's a pretty expensive ticket.
Yeah.
Preventative medicine is always the best medicine. So,
Yeah.
That's it. Before we jump into our topic for today, can we do the Black History trivia right quick?
Yes,
so we can
let's
have
do that really
set
quick.
Okay,
Yeah, I
let's
don't
do
know.
it.
Yeah, I told you I'm kind of
You got your
discombobulated
thinking cap
today.
on today?
I got my thinking cap on.
Okay, Black History trivia question, and you guys should know the answer to this. I'm just going to say it already. The enslaved blacks in the United States were freed January 1, 1863. But what day were the last of these enslaved people in Texas notified that they were free?
Uh-oh.
Was it A, June 19th, 1863? Was it B, August 19th, 1863? Was it C, June 18th, 1865? Or was it D, June 19th, 1864?
And I am passing the ball to JB Smooth.
Dude, I can't even begin.
Come on, guys. Really?
I just know it's probably the 19th. Mm-hmm. And if it's
Deductive
the 1963, 64, I'm going to say 63.
Okay. A. You're going to say A.
June 1963.
Okay, JB says A.
1863, I'm sorry.
Okay.
June 19th, 1863. That's really hard to say.
I'm not going to go before the doctor. I can tell you that right now. I don't even know what you're thinking. Are you looking at me or the doctor? That's what I need. I'm not going before a doctor. Dr. Purdue up next.
All right, Dr. Purdue, what you got?
It's June 19th, 1864.
Okay.
So
that would be
It's a
D.
year later?
yeah,
That would be D.
4 year later. That,
It was
they-
a year
that,
later.
that there were some folks that just then found out that they were technically free.
So
What you saying? What? Who's saying what?
Michael Brewer said C.
Michael Brewer said C.
Jeremiah said C.
Y'all mean D.
What do you mean?
No,
Okay.
they said
know,
C. They said what they mean. What you talking about?
Doc said
my
64.
Yeah, my answer is D.
His
Yes,
answer is
answer
D.
Mine is D.
That's what I
Answer is
said.
D.
Yeah, his is D.
Oh, I
And then
thought Mike was
guys,
talking about.
No, they said C.
Okay.
AJ,
Don't-
AJ said A.
Okay.
What you say?
I didn't say nothing. I know the answer to the question. What you say?
No, we got one more guest in here. We're going to see what he going to say real quick.
What you say?
He's like, I'm not even on the mic yet.
He's not on the mic yet. He's
Question.
sitting. I'm going with the magic D. I'm going with the doctor.
You going with D? Okay. Charlie Mack says D.
And we
Okay.
do got some new merch in, so for the people that's getting
We
it,
gonna see.
because you did good today, because you put that 1963, 70, 83. That's like we asking people about the Chicago Bulls championship. They just all get running. You know it was 6 of them,
Right.
But which one did Jordan pause with the shot? You like, oh, I don't remember that one. I know it was against Utah, but okay, today it's getting hot in here. Well,
Man.
actually, it's kind of getting hot in here, but.
Yeah, because you in the hot seat. That's
you,
why.
But when you outside, it is summertime.
Yes.
It's
It
heating up. So what we're going to talk about a little bit for a few moments is heat stroke.
Yep.
Yes.
The one thing about it, I'm from Arkansas. We always saying you better get in this house before you have a heat stroke.
That's right. And so, what exactly, Dr. Purdue, is a heat stroke, and how does that come about?
Well, heat stroke is on a continuum. There's something also called heat exhaustion, which is kind of a milder form. So heat stroke is, when you hear the word stroke, you should be thinking about there is a lack of blood flow to an area of the body, particularly the brain. Heat exhaustion is you get dehydrated, but you don't necessarily have really profound symptoms. So when someone has heat stroke, they can have profound confusion. It can cause heart attack. It can cause a stroke. It can cause kidney failure. In extreme cases, it can cause liver failure. And typically, what will happen is the body uses sweat as a form of cooling itself. Okay. So, the cool air comes across the body, helps to lower the temperature. When someone is in heat stroke, essentially they lose the ability to produce sweat.
Wow.
So their temperature will continue to go up. And I think the technical term is that if your temperature is greater than 104 degrees, then you are considered to have had a heat stroke.
Oh, wow.
So it's no joke.
Yeah.
What is the difference for a person who is dehydrated a lot and cramps up? What is the best solution besides going to get an IV like a saline?
Well, you know what? It's important to be not hydrated. Hydrated, of course, is very important, but also to have electrolyte-driven fluids.
Right.
Because mainly when we get dehydrated, we lose a lot of our salt, and salt allows you to retain water. So, the old wives' tale, or the old tale of, okay, well, eat a pickle. A lot of people eat pickles because it's high in sodium, and then you get thirsty, and it allows you to maintain the fluid in your body, and also helps you to the desire to continue to drink.
So the same kind of salt that's in a pork chop is not the same kind of salt you're talking about?
It
Well,
always goes back to the
Trying to work
pork
his
chop.
way to a
It
pork chop with
always.
some hot sauce on it.
well,
Because they say pork has a lot of salt, in it.
it
does.
does.
And a lot of black people eat pork. I mean, some do.
Yeah, well, one of the
Like you over there.
But one of the challenges is that when you're eating, there's only a certain amount of space in your stomach. So if you're eating, then you're not necessarily hydrating as well, and then the fluid is not necessarily taken from your GI system into your vascular system into the rest of your body. So
Boom, there it
it's
is.
always
So
better.
the answer's no,
Yeah.
JB.
The pork chops is sucking up the, absorbing
Right.
the fluid.
Yeah.
I'll just say this because an old wise man told me this in Arkansas while he was in the farm tilling the soil.
Oh,
going
Lord.
back.
Oh, Lord.
But it goes. It's true because of what Dr. Perdue said. Because I will be working for him. I'm out there doing. He said, "Let me tell you something, young man. If you ever stop sweating, get in the house.
Absolutely.
That's all. Because we would be out, and he was like, if you stop sweating, now if you sweating, you're good.
Yeah.
He said, brother, if you stop sweating and get cold, I need you to get in the house.
Yeah.
And you kind of said that
Absolutely right.
that sweat is cooling you down. So if you forget everything else. If you out here walking on Peoria and it's 110, and you stop sweating,
Yeah.
It's
You
a
got
problem.
a bigger problem.
Yeah, you better dive into that
Houston.
McDonald's on Peoria.
Houston,
Right,
we got a
and
problem.
quick.
Get you some cool air and ask
So
for
you
some
know
water.
what is the difference? So my daughter has been in band. My youngest daughter been in band for a lot of years, and so they do those 2-a-days and 3-a-days as they're getting ready over the summer. And one year she was in band, and we thought that she had a heat stroke because it was like brutally hot outside. Come to find out, because she was talking and like when she would smile, her face was drooping. Come to find out, she had Bell's palsy.
Yes.
So what is the difference between the two? Are the symptoms pretty much the same, or did she get that from just being overheated, or?
Well, Bell's palsy is you have a nerve called your facial nerve that is responsible for your ability to move your face.
Correct.
And it has several branches to it. Now, if somebody has you can get an infection, and herpes simplex virus is probably the most common infection, but you can get an infection where you can affect that nerve and it can cause a Bell's palsy. So heat stroke is different, but with heat stroke, you can have paralysis on one side of your body. So that could be more of what we call a central form of a neurological injury than a peripheral form where the nerve with a Bell's palsy. So listen, anytime somebody has drooping one side of their face, we've talked about BFAST as far as balance, eyes, face, arm, leg, speech, and time, that if you have any type of loss of function, you immediately call 911. And particularly if you're in a very hot environment, get into a cool setting. A lot of times it's a matter of taking cold water, ice, putting it into the essential areas underneath your armpits, in between your legs, behind your neck, on your forehead, to try to help bring your temperature down.
Man, that's it. I know we're going to have to take a quick break because we got to get into another segment that is pretty hot, but we want to make sure during Juneteenth, when thousands are out, news you can use.
The hottest time of the year.
We was not going to let you fall out.
Hydrate.
Starting today.
Starting today.
Don't wait till Friday.
Nope.
When Fine Little Africa is on stage. You too late. Start today on Wednesday on Hump Day, getting that water, and by Friday and Saturday you'll be
all right.
You'll be good to go.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back, man. What happened with this development, man? We got a lot of guests. We're going to get right into it. We got a lot of people streaming in from all over the world. We appreciate that. But this is KBOB, 89.9 FM. World One Development News you can use. We'll be right back, y'all. Thanks, Doc.
You got it, my friend.
The 36th Street North Event Center is a full-scale event center where we share the experiences of the community. At the event center, you can rent space for weddings, birthday parties, receptions, concerts, Greek events, quinceañeras, and much more. We also do custom decor, linen, and centerpieces. We're located at 1125 East 36th Street North. To book your next special event, business gathering, or community event, call us at 918-200-9046. EduRec is a youth and family fun center located at 5424 North Madison Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At EduRec, we offer a host of activities for children and families of the Tulsa community at little to no cost. To find out about the many programs, activities, and services offered at EduRec, please visit our website, www.edurectulsa.com, or just give us a call at 918-430-3947.
The Juice Radio Show and KBOB 89.9
would like to say thank you to all of our listeners and sponsors who donate to help keep our media program alive, reaching the community. The Juice Radio Network continues to expand as influencers in the community of North Tulsa and beyond, but can't do that without your help. That's why it's important that we as a community continue to support the Juice Radio Show and keep 89.9 on the air. The community not only deserves this service, but needs this service. Let's continue to support the mission and giving a voice to the voiceless and donate to the Juice Radio Show. The Juice Radio Show is a nonprofit 501c3 powered by KBOB 89.9 and Eden Media Services, operating solely off the gifts, donations, and contributions made by listeners like yourself. All donations made to the Juice Radio Show are tax deductible and can be sent to 1216 North Lansing Avenue, Suite D, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74106.
It's Tulsa, Tulsa. I see you here in Tulsa. I'm in Tulsa chillin'.
We appreciate your continued support and thanks for listening to KBOB 89.9 FM.
This is news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use Media Network, powered by World One Development. Damali, real quick, we got Mr. Gary Barnett. We call him
Hey,
Big
hey,
Brother.
hey.
Tuning in from the ATL. Mom is on.
Hey, Mommy.
She's in the building. Mom, welcome to the show. Rodmetris Wilson tuning in from
Hey,
Shreveport,
hey, hey.
Louisiana. And, man, I looked up at the top, man, and he said he got 3,000 friends and other groups live all around the nation right here with us today. They in here, y'all.
Yes.
We
up
just
in the
talking.
spot.
This is
Hey, y'all.
Grandma's living room.
Okay. All right, so everybody knows that we went to Omaha this past week.
We did.
And while we were there, we got some really disturbing news.
Oh, hell broke loose.
Broke loose. So we get a screenshot of a news article with the headline that says City of Tulsa / Partner Tulsa halts Evans Fin 2 redevelopment.
Right.
And we're like, what in the haymaker is going on around here?
Oh, the whole energy change in the whole room just for a little
Yes.
bit. The fact that she was just on our show the
Right,
previous week
right.
before we left, and she was kind of laying out what was going on. We're trying to find ways to figure out a community-led project.
And
but
we're talking about
unfortunately-
Frenchelle Abdallah.
Abdallah. That's
Yes.
on live.
Of Be
Frenchelle.
Good.
Thanks for tuning in. Be
Development
Good.
Partners.
Yeah.
Okay, Damali.
So they go on to say all this, and I have a copy of the article right here. We'll get off into that in a minute. But the biggest thing that I want you guys to take from this whole conversation is that there is a meeting tonight at 6:30 at the Greenwood Cultural Center where Partner Tulsa is throwing this meeting, so we have no idea what it's going to be about, probably what's contained in this news article.
Right.
However, there are some things that you need to know. So what we are trying to do is, because that is our job as World One Development News You Can Use, we want to prepare you and to make sure that you have the other side to the story. Because remember, didn't your mama teach you that there's two sides to every story?
Right.
So you want to make sure that you walk in there with facts, and you want to be able to ask the questions.
Right.
Because this started out as a community-led project. The community was there. It was all kumbaya. Everybody come together. We're going to talk about this. We're going to make this work. We're going to do this work together. And then now this decision is made. And where was the community?
Nowhere to be found.
Okay.
So we got to figure out kind of what happened there. What
Yeah.
happened
So
there?
what happened? So in studio we have Mr. Greg Robinson here.
He live.
He is live. He is one of the individuals. If you remember, we were responsible for doing the community engagement piece.
Correct.
And so World One Development actually won the contract to do the engagement piece, and then we brought Greg Robinson on to support us. And so we worked together to make that happen. So Greg's now gone off to do other things, and we're still doing our stuff, but we still family, we still partners, we still work together.
We still
That's
want
how
the
we
best
roll.
for Tulsa, Greenwood, Black Wall Street. That's
part.
the common denominator that will never change.
That part. And then we also have Dr. View in the building. Fire in Little Africa. Everybody knows who Dr. View
It
is,
goes down.
extraordinaire. So we're going to talk about this and unpack this just a little bit to, so that, because there are some things that we want community to know, understand, and be prepared for when you walk into the meeting. We're not just walking in, we need answers to questions, right? And we need to know what questions to ask. We need to understand some of this development terminology, because that's where we get tripped up, is because we're not educated. So when they say something, then it goes over our heads and we don't really understand.
Right.
So we're going to talk about that a little bit too. So first of all, Greg, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm a little disappointed in y'all's Black history knowledge, but I'm gonna wait and get to that a little bit later. But I will have to tell you, a little beat down is coming.
Oh,
for everybody that was in studio.
Get the
a few
switch.
minutes
Get
ago.
the switch.
But other than that, I'm good. I'm with my brother DJ View. Oh
Yes.
my God.
Yes. View, and how you doing?
I'm grateful to be here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
some more disruption about to take place.
Right.
Man.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just
Man.
a little bit. Just like
yes, just like that. Okay, so let's start. First of all, let's start here. So there was an RFP issued, right, or put out.
Yep.
Can you explain to community what a RFP is?
Sure. An RFP is a request for proposals, and so in the RFP, normally there are a set of things that you have to do to qualify, really, in the eyes of the person issuing that RFP, and then you put together a team and a proposal that then, in this case, partner Tulsa at the time, Teo, looked at and said, okay, you meet the criteria, you do not meet the criteria.
Right.
In the RFP, it really lays out the entire process for selection, and then and within that, the qualifications that are needed.
Okay, so does it tell you from beginning to end what's supposed to happen?
Yes, most RFPs tell you literally as much as they could possibly know, how selection would go, and then post-selection, a lot of times what that process will be up through the actual signing of the development contracts.
Okay, so once you've done the things, so say if it's I'm supposed to jump on one foot 10 times and sing a song with water, so you've done the things.
Yep.
And you get to I've won, or
Yeah.
now I'm selected.
Yep.
Right, and I've won.
Yep.
Right. Then what happens next?
Well, there's a standard process, and this is within the RFP
Correct.
that was done for the Evans Fentool process that follows a couple of steps. There's normally a letter of intent or a redevelopment agreement at that time, which gives something called site control over to the developer. Now, that is what it sounds like. It is control of the site that they are potentially developing. Why is this important?
Yes.
Because when you do respond to an RFP, you're not necessarily responding with 100% of the development capital and your team built out. In fact, this RFP didn't call for that, at all. Actually, I think it called for to be able to show 60% of that, or have a history of $40 million development.
Right.
So the reason you would call for site control first is because if you want to go and get capital from other partners, sign on other construction companies, and so on and so forth, they need to know that you own the land.
Yeah.
Right. That's standard procedure. You normally have a window to be able to do that. Once that gets done and you actually show, hey, here is everything we have, then that contract is executed, kind of like a closing on a house. There's a period there where you've essentially got to prove, that you've got what it takes to get this deal done.
Okay, so we've established that. Okay, so this is the RFP. This is what I need to do. Now I've done the thing, so I've won the RFP. So this is what I have to do now, right? One of those things you clearly said was site control. So if you don't have site control, then basically when you're coming to me as a co-developer, Damali co-developer, then I'm saying, okay, show me your contract.
Most of the time, right?
Yes.
I mean, you ask yourself, if somebody asked you for $500,000 on $1 million project,
Right.
and they didn't own the land that this was supposed to be built on, would you sign on to that? Right?
Absolutely
I would. Now there are some that will, but here's the thing we need to understand. Historically, you're talking about a black developer,
Right.
right? You're talking about someone that was selected, right, for and by community. You're not talking about, frankly, you're not talking about a white man-owned company with decades and decades of this and that. But even in that circumstance, they need site control,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so, I don't want to go too far with what you all are laying out, but site control is one of the very fundamental things to getting capital and to getting development and contract partners signed on to your project.
So it's not unreasonable to have the expectation that would happen.
And I will say too, it may sound like, oh, well, why would I give over the land if I don't know if they can build the project? You can write into the agreement that this is dependent upon you meeting these factors. That is not that's standard, right?
Standard, normal,
you wouldn't
right.
just say, here's the land and we can never get it back. Here is site control. Here's a document that says we've got an agreement to give you site control. We've got a redevelopment agreement. So you can go do what you need to do to bring this thing to fruition. If you don't, what happens is whatever improvements that you made on that land,
Sure.
that you just did that for free, basically, for us, right? Because now you're giving that back because you didn't get the close. You didn't get the deal done. So it's not as if the responsibility is not on the developer at that point.
Right.
It just gives the developer an actual tool to finish the job.
What I want to be able to do, if we can, is it was toward the end with Evans Fintube that we were brought in as the local engagement. And I just want to say, Greg, with you, when they came to us, we'll just say World One Development and Standpipe Hill Strategy with all the people, because here's the ticket. Most of the people are listening in because it's the hundreds to maybe a few thousand of people that came out based on us saying that this is going to be different.
Sure.
Partner Tulsa saying this is going to be different. The committee saying this is going to be different. So kind of what about, because I don't want to, because there's so many of them on, like Charles, man, y'all said come out, y'all fed us some lasagna.
Yeah.
Right.
And we said
That
this
part.
is going to be different.
Yeah.
Man, we was
Yeah.
excited about us doing it different.
Yeah.
You got a committee that was appointed by the mayor to kind of be a liaison, so to
Right.
speak, between, I'll say, Partner Tulsa and the local, the community to make sure points and all those things was done the right way.
Yeah, this is where I almost walked in here with a police hat on, but I didn't want to get arrested for impersonating an officer because
Right.
I'm investigating a potential theft.
Right.
And I say it like that, and I mean it like
Again.
that. I'm extremely embarrassed
Yes.
as somebody who has a consulting company, who's a professional. I'm embarrassed for you all, professionals that signed on to deliver a process with the intention of standing in the gap, putting a face on for this community that they could trust, under the understanding that we were doing this because it was going to lead to a community driven developer.
Yes.
And I want to go back just a little bit.
Okay.
When the BMX deal was done, most black folks out there said, why in the world are you bringing BMX to Greenwood? A lot of folks did.
Right.
I did too. But Councilwoman Vanessa Hall Harper struck a deal. She said, okay, I won't protest this
Right.
if you allocate the land beside it to be black development.
Right.
We need to understand that because that's why the RFP was written in the way it was.
Right.
That's why the community-based process was done in the way it was done. Right. And so when you go through all of that, I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of some of the
Sure.
things that happened within that, but rest assured we were fighting to preserve the integrity of the community-based process. When you go through all of that, and it feels like the minute it gets out of our hands, the
Right.
minute we are no longer in the meetings,
Right.
Right.
you look up and now we're renegotiating, we reneging,
Right.
on deals, and to know that you have a leadership team that was put in place by the mayor, it was selected by the mayor, it wasn't selected by community, so it's
Yeah.
y'all's leadership team,
Yeah.
and they don't even know
Right. What's going on?
What's going
Until
on.
you get a headline like that.
when
Yeah.
you put the historical context on it. Charles and Damali, I get very skeptical, and my skepticism is rooted in historical fact that we have no evidence of black economic development being supported by this city or any city entity in Greenwood, and we have a ton of evidence of thievery.
Right.
I heard someone say that this is like they categorize this as a weapon of mass destruction yet again. So what they're saying is the first time that it hit, it was the massacre. Second time, urban renewal. And now here we are, strike number 3, right here in this situation. What do you say about that?
I understand what they're saying because I look at things not just from what is done, but what isn't being done, right? And so when you look at Greenwood, it's not hard to see there isn't a lot of space left. Why is everything that new that comes up is the same old thing? It's white developers building white-facing structures and mostly white-facing businesses. It is what it is. That's what's occurring. And so you have a couple of big spaces left that Teo has control of, that's Partner Tulsa has control of. One of them is the Evans Fentube, and one of is the Greenwood Kirkpatrick Heights Master Plan. We know that is essentially $250 million worth of land. Now, during the process, you all, if you remember, there was a gap of time when meetings weren't happening. But we did hear a voice. We heard the voice of Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell. We did. And he came out and said, I think a soccer stadium would be a good idea. And that really confused us. Yes. Because at that time, the public hadn't seen any plans.
No plans.
Where did that come from?
So what are you talking about? What type of stadium? Especially when there is no evidence in any of the community engagement that was a wish of community at that time. Why am I saying these things? And I will admit that it is a little bit theoretical what I'm throwing out, but why wouldn't you as a city entity support the developer that was community driven, right? That was selected by community, and bend over backwards, sideways, doing anything you can? Why is that developer saying that they feel like they have hands tied behind their backs when there is evidence on other projects? See Route 66 and the $25 million that the city put into that project. See the Hanson project.
And they didn't even do nothing.
Hold
on to the land.
That we bend over backwards and give all the time in the world. Why on a development that sat barren for decades are we all of a sudden so quick within a year to say, oh, negotiations are off? I don't really know what all went wrong, but there basically is nothing that could have went that wrong that you didn't even talk to community or the leadership committee about before you made the decision, unless you had another plan in mind the entire time. And you were just using the whole community-based thing to get us to this step and thinking we was going to close our eyes, eat our chicken, dance at Juneteenth, and move the heck on, and then y'all could just move in with what you wanted to do. I know I'm throwing out theories, but again,
you sure?
Where is the evidence of anything other than that occurring throughout history within this very particular space in these very times? Show me.
That part.
Dr.
View. Come on.
I heard you. I heard that. That means let me merge in. Your signal light came on.
Yes.
I'm gonna bring some scholarship in this conversation.
Okay, let's go.
There's a great lawyer, scholar by the name of Derek Bell. And he coined this term in relation to critical race theory, interest convergence. And basically it says that black people only achieve success when it's in the interest of white folks. And this is what is happening historically in Tulsa. It happened with Fire in Little Africa. Let's create this commemorative album project. Let's get all these artists.
Right.
Let's get this big major label involved. But don't allow these artists to develop a body of work, i.e. a reparations video that speaks directly to the mayor allowing Trump to come to Tulsa, the mass grave investigation, Just Greenwood lawsuit. You got the January 6th uprising. You got House Bill 1775.
Right.
That Fire in Little Africa is talking about. And we asking for reparations. And what do? They gut the project.
Wow.
Same thing is happening right now.
Yeah.
As Greg has mentioned, they were wanting to make sure they knew that they wanted this land. in the Greenwood district. They knew they had to have a black face to do that. But they had in their mind all the time of what they wanted to do. It was always in the interest of white folks. It had nothing to do with black mobility, with opportunities for black folks, none of that. So it's always about their interests, only their interests. And so, yeah, it's not theoretical.
Right.
Because you already said we have historical facts, and this is just another historical fact that is taking place in this city. And so, yeah, like I'm just in a place where I'm just tired of it. I'm fed of it. And we had our Beyond Apology meeting yesterday, and there was some very transparent conversation that we were having in relation to like what needs to happen moving forward. And my biggest thing is like, particularly with Fine Little Africa, we went to Harvard this past semester. Yeah. And the one thing that we talked about as a group was that the only way we're able to be successful is if we get out of Tulsa and let the world know. We have to control our narrative. We have to control how we want to move forward. And we have to tell our stories in spaces that people wouldn't imagine. Yes. Like this city is the Wild Wild West. It is ran off of private dollars. I said it yesterday. There is, outside of OSU Tulsa, there's no public institutions in this city. It is very unique. I've talked to multiple cities. I've talked to St. Louis. I've talked to Memphis, Tennessee. I've talked to Atlanta, Georgia. All of them are inspired by the work that we are doing as artists and creatives and activists, but they understand that the limitation that we have is that the nonprofits of the world and these private institutions run the city. Yeah. And if they want to do something, if $1 billion funder wants the Bob Dylan Archive to be in Tulsa, he gonna bring the Bob Dylan Archive in Tulsa. Right. That's just how it is. And so we have to really recognize that it's really this interest convergence that's taking place in our city for sure.
We got a lot of people on, and now we got to take a break because we got music. We'll take a quick break, but before we go to break, I'll just say this. That spirit, those things, Dr. B, that you just spoke of, was here 102 years ago. Absolutely. But we built Black Wall Street.
Absolutely.
In the midst of that, within 5 years, we rebuilt it again.
That part.
So the question is, how did that happen? Because all those things were still there. Right. Regardless of all the different odds. Right. So somewhere along the line, there got to be a blueprint to figure out what's what, period. But I think we'll say period because so many people on, I see hearts and stuff coming out. But pause it right there for a second, take a break. We're going to talk about what we feel like we need to do to make this happen. If y'all want to chime in, Uganda's in the building. You tell Uganda come, they popped up. So we all around the world.
Happy birthday, Pastor Caperi.
Greg, when we come back, over a century ago, our ancestors did it. They didn't have none of the tools that we had. Right. They probably didn't even have a friend share. Right. Or Greg, or Dr. B, or some of us, man, we got some skill sets now. I just feel like it's something else they had. It's something else they had that we got to find a way to get back. We're going to talk about that more next on KBOB 89.9 FM, World One Development News You Can Use with Charles and Damali. We'll be right back, y'all.
EduRec is a youth and family fun center located at 5424 North Madison Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At EduRec, we offer a host of activities for children and families of the Tulsa community at little to no cost. To find out about the many programs, activities, and services offered at EduRec, please visit our website, www.edurectulsa.com, or just give us a call at 918-430-3947.
Fitting Back In is a reintegration program designed to help those released from prison to fit back into the community as productive, valuable members of society. They help schedule various classes such as anger management, substance abuse, and mental health. They also work with different programs in the community to provide job training. If you or someone you know needs help with resources in career development, employment, or housing, to find out more information, call 918-592-3500 or stop by 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
The 36th Street North Event Center is a full-scale event center where we share the experiences of the community. At the Event Center, you can rent space for weddings, birthday parties, receptions, concerts, Greek events, quinceañeras, and much more. We also do custom decor, linen, and centerpieces. We're located at 1125 East 36th Street North. To book your next special event, business gathering, or community event, call us at 918-200-9046.
This is news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use Media Network, powered by World One Development. It's hot up in here, literally.
Yes.
But we are back. Damali.
Yes.
Man, we had to go deep on that. And it's, to be honest, man, in these days and times, it's 2023.
Yes.
You know, we beyond the centennial. All the lights, camera, action, LeBron and Russell Westbrook. And,
Everybody gone.
And old MSNBC and all, everybody came. Thousands and thousands came. And, man, Uncle Bobby and a few other of the veterans. That's why I always listen to the old timers.
That's
I ain't
right.
Can we at least let the people know that why you guys are so invested in this is because they chose y'all to be the community engagement team to speak for the community.
Well, I wouldn't say that we speak for the community. I am invested. I'll just speak for myself personally. I'm invested because my grandmother lived on Greenwood.
Right.
Urban Renewal kicked her off of Greenwood. Right. My mother was born in Greenwood District. When I was born, I actually remember sleeping on the porch across the street from the Brickyard in Greenwood District. That's why I'm involved. There is a history, a rich history of black folks taking care of themselves. You know, and to have to ask someone else, is it okay for us to do what we do? I got a problem with that.
And I think that process y'all was talking about is really just keeping black businesses from becoming bigger than what they already are, or having growth.
I'll go back to what I said because, of course, originally I'm from Arkansas, not here, but I went to Langston University, got my HBCU. I've been here for 25 years, so I got the right to say a few things. But
you're Oklahoman now.
I go back to the same thing when I see Wanda J come in. You know, I know she done had a long, hard day. I see Brother Bright come in.
Right.
I see Uncle Bobby Eaton come in, and I see many others come in, and they stop, and they like, man, the city don't never do right. Because these are people that you know are just interwoven into the community, and they done been through this process 100 times. But when I see them look at Greg, they look at Damali and say, you know what, because of the work that we see you guys doing, we really come in here for you. But we telling you right now it's a trick that's going on right now. So, and we said this even in the beginning. So just in case y'all think y'all got by, that wasn't the case. Because that's why you got to speak with your elders. 85% of the people that came to these engagement meetings said that they did not trust the city not one bit.
Zero,
that was
period,
that was
nada.
the whole story.
Wow.
They were coming to people, man, these people's like, they going to do us just like they did us 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, the land is ours. That's the thing. This was a negotiation. We talk about negotiation. This is a negotiation with the city to not give us back what's rightfully ours. They could have just gave us the land. They could have just gave a community group the land. Why they sitting on the land?
Right.
What gives them the audacity or the authority to think that they know what's best for this piece of property? It's not theirs. You just talked about urban removal.
Right.
They got the land through trickery.
Right.
And so now to then create these fake processes, because now it's a fake process because they stopped following.
Right.
So now it's a fake process, and to speak as if and to act as if this is theirs, right? And they're gonna decide this and that. That was the problem in the first place.
That part.
So now it's like, you know what? We should have just said bump it. Put this in the reparations package and just give it all back to us.
Right.
You're not good stewards.
Never been.
I know we got to get to the meeting, but we need to remember that too.
Right.
The land you talking about is your land.
Right.
That the city is not relinquishing. They could relinquish it.
Right.
Let me do this because the listeners are like, Charles, hello. So,
Sorry.
Mr. Energizer coming live from Little Rock said, Brother Greg, this to you. When white people in power renege on the black community, what do you suggest we do at this point? I will say we will never stop fighting the white power or the white racist people, is what he said on him.
Listen. The more that we collectively speak up, I'm not a big. You never really hear me talking about unity, okay?
Right.
but I do like collective speaking up. Speak up from your perspective.
Sure.
Okay. And in the spaces that you're in, come, you know when it's time to come out. We know you're not going to come to everything, but sometimes it's time to come out and be in the space and say enough is enough. We are progressing as a black people in Tulsa. Think about the energy around the centennial that has continued to right now. Think about the different modes that we are working in.
Yeah.
We do have black elected officials. We do have new black businesses popping up. We do have the arts and entertainment now being a part of active. It's not as if we aren't doing our part and going in the right direction, right? What we have to do, though, is to press on our policymakers and the people who have run the economics of this city for so long and make sure that they understand that we are not impressed by the museum.
No.
We ain't impressed by the dancing and the commemorate and all of that.
None of that.
We are about this money.
Yeah.
That's what we're about. And for a long time, black people have not been allowed to have that conversation. So I think we're right there. I think this is a very important piece. We cannot allow you all a potentially $250 million development not to be controlled by us. And we need to speak about it like that, because that's what the people said.
Right.
Yes, we want to control the development. Yes, we want to know who the developer is. Yes, we want to be able to say, yes, we like this and don't like this.
Right.
And yeah, if we decide that now we want to move on, or we want to that y'all should be negotiating with somebody else, then we'll tell you that.
Right.
But until that time, frankly, y'all just need to be conduits to what the hell we tell you to do.
Right.
Because you are using our land. And so again, my answer to your question is, this is the time to continue the full court press. There is no time for let's see what they do or let's trust them. This is far past. And you talking to somebody who is I love negotiating and collaborating and all that.
Right.
But I
think we
also
all
know,
do, so
I also know when it's time to put your foot down and say, hell no.
But I also think we won't necessarily change these white power structures, but we can convict them. And we can convict them through this collective knowledge production that Greg is talking about.
Right.
One thing I know about people in positions of power, they hate bad press.
Right.
They hate it. It's embarrassing. And so if we decide like, yo, this $250 million, like that's ours, like we need to pull up.
Right.
And we need to let people know like how severely wrong this is.
Right.
And that starts with conviction. Like truly starts with that.
And I'll say this and see what y'all think about this. To me, this is just bigger than Franchelle.
It is.
It's so much bigger than
So much
Franchelle.
bigger.
You could just remove her and just say just this situation. Because here's the ticket, and this is how I look at it. Man, people are looking at Black Wall Street from all over the world.
Every day.
Because we did this big song and dance during the centennial. Of course, we needed to do that because we are honoring our ancestors and our survivors and those things. But at the same time, I get so many calls every time we travel Black Wall Street. What y'all gonna do next? Greg, when you go, we like, man, we're not even getting there yet. But people just, they looking for us to do it first. So when Franchelle was on the show, I told her, we need to win this because I think that this could set us back 100 years. Because if this fails, it won't be about this. It's going to ricochet all over the United States and the other countries that black people can't get it done, is how I look at it.
One of the things we said in a meeting, a planning meeting, if you remember, was
I do.
It is better to take years and years to get the right developer, a developer that the community believes in, than getting the wrong one. Because if you get the wrong one, then it is going to do exactly what you said, Charles. And in a space that has been vacant for this long, when the goal is to do something that is going to build economic opportunity and a sense of black culture, and a sense of black people being able to own and be in a space, that's what it's about too. It is critical to get the right developer and then support them. And that is the approach that I don't see the city taking or Partner Tulsa taking when they make a decision like this. Giving us details about what they didn't do or this or that, for me at this point, is beside the point.
Correct.
Right.
We don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care because we know that's just a prerequisite, like it always is, to take stuff from the black person and give it to who you want to. There might be a black person on the group that you give it to next to, but I guarantee you it's gonna be they plan.
Yes.
And folks listening in from all over the world, Greg said this before we even started. I'm just trying to tell y'all
in the meeting we won the contract.
Before we even got the contract, it was better to do that, which today you can tell because you feel, because everybody that woke up, doctors, lawyers, business people, kids, schools, principals, when they woke up and seen that was a blow to everybody. Because look, the committee that was put together by the mayor, we happened to be sitting with a few of them. And when they saw that, they all was in tears. They had to go to the bathroom for like 20, 30 minutes. And these are some of the sharpest people I know. Just to recover, like, I can't believe I see this, and I'm the committee, and I was put here to ensure that this process is fair. Because I don't think they understand that when you in these kind of positions, you still have to answer to some people. It can't be just this happened and that's it. No, when you put us in this situation, we still got to go answer to the thousands of people that showed up, that we was assuring that this was going to be at least a fair process.
And by proximity, we're going to be the ones that they blame.
Exactly.
Because we the ones that, they
brought
trusted.
them to the table.
Absolutely.
We the ones who brought them to the table, said, come out to the meetings. We're going to make y'all some lasagna so y'all don't have to worry about eating. Bring your kids. Come on down here because we want you guys to participate in this process. And then now this is what happens.
So I think the only way to combat that, we got to open up door number one. And say this is what's really going on, because the one thing that we did was we were super transparent. Not just with Partner Tulsa, not just with the city and the committee. We've been telling everybody, at the end of the day, we keep it 100.
Yeah.
Whose decision was it to pull the
Partner Tulsa,
the
carpet out from under
Partner Tulsa? And they say in their documentation that they reserve the rights to do pretty much anything,
whatever they want to do.
Right? And so it's not, this is, the legality of it, I'll leave that up to lawyers, right?
Right.
Just from a communal contract, though. And when you're dealing with sacred space like Greenwood, you're trading off of that. Economically, you're trading off of that. I think people might think we get emotional sometimes. This is about economics.
Right.
What is tourism? Tourism is a
Dollars
economic
and cents.
trade off of something cultural that occurred. The reason you can attract developers and people into this space is because of the land that it sits on. So the contract that you have to that, for me, is worth more than any other little wording that you put on paper. We know you can do what you want to. Y'all could always do what you want to. The point was y'all were supposed to do something the right way finally. And you have failed to do so. It's not personal. It is not personal to the people who work at Partner Tulsa. But here's the reality. It doesn't matter how good of a person you think you are when you go home. When you are in a position of authority and have the ability the power to do something and you don't do it, you are guilty. And so if you allow for forces that you feel like are beyond your control, or maybe they're controlling your paycheck to keep you silent and to allow the community over and over again, you're no better than the black dude that was whipping the rest of his homies when they was in the field.
Yes.
You're no better. And that's the reality of it. And so it's going to be a lot of folks that need to be held accountable tonight. We're going to go. I think we need to go and listen.
Right.
And understand what it is. But again, the facts are that the steering committee, the leadership committee, I think is what it's called, wasn't notified, right? That you have a black developer that was chosen by community who has stated publicly that they do not feel that they were supported. They feel like this was a sham job from the beginning.
Right.
And so to me, when I hear those things, I just say, at the very least, we might need to go back to the negotiate. We might need to rethink this ending negotiation, and we might need to go back to the negotiating table and see if we can operate in a little better faith. Then if somebody fails, when you've done all you can do, okay, we can have that conversation then.
Right.
But to do what we're doing now, I told you I almost came in here with the police hat on.
What do you say to the old lady that came to the meetings, the people that's been here for 60, 70 years that you know, I seen people reassure them that this wouldn't happen again, and it's happened again. What do you say to those people, those thousands that showed up to the meetings?
You know what? That's the tough part of it, and that's why I am glad that we have this platform, not just for the local people, not just for the people that came in, but for the world. The world is listening to this right now.
That part.
You know, and I feel like that we can do something different this time. You know, and everything we can't just say over the airway.
Yeah.
But I feel like Greg said, we go listen, but you hearing on the radio how we feeling and thinking. So if you come in with a bunch of junk, it's just the junk you've been already spewing, so we ain't listening to none of that.
And I will say this, in 1921, we didn't have social media. We didn't have access to people all across the world. You know, this is a new day. So some of the stuff that you were able to do under the cover of night in the darkness, we're not gonna let that stand.
I'll say, Damali, too. Here's the biggest problem. And you say it best. I think they didn't bank on a French Abdallah. No. I'll just say that because somebody still had to navigate the ship to get it to dry land,
right.
And she did that. I don't think they expected that. Frenchelle is one of the sharpest individuals as it comes to this space that I've ever met, and I think they didn't bank on that. Us being over the local engagement. Also understand how that ship didn't even almost get there. Even if we wouldn't have just been in our position as local engagers, making sure that's fair. But I'll say this, she won. That's the difference to me. It's different when somebody didn't win, they got shammed along the way, and they announced somebody else. But now I think that's a little different is she actually went through the process, it was scored, and she won, and they put it out there for the world to see.
And the other part is, too, to me, I feel like we should be doing everything we could as a city. Partner Tulsa should be doing what they can to offer technical assistance and to make it work. Versus, you know, now once you like you said, Greg, if it gets to a point where okay, there's nothing else we can do, we tried to help you out as much as we can.
But Damali, look, when you give another project $25 million, where's her $25 million? That's all I'm saying.
Which she wasn't asking for, by the way. Let's be real. I just was just using it as an example.
Right.
All she was saying was give me a thing that says I got site control, so I can go actually have the right conversation.
Because she was chosen as master developer.
Well, let me say this, because she was on our show, sat right here. Y'all can go back, World One Development. Just click on video. It's a 25-minute segment, and it's all of the details. But she said sitting right here, her whole team, even a year later, is still intact. The problem is what you said when we kind of started. Site control, development contract, the things that's in her contract that said after 30 days she should have.
Right.
That the city has never given her. The beauty of everybody sitting at this table, we all business people. So we ain't no fool.
Right.
So we know, like you said with the house, you know, like me, I can go to my banker now and say, man, I think I'm gonna get a development. But when you get your contract, come back to see me and we can work through the numbers. He's not just gonna give me a $5 if I don't have no contract. That's just common
you
sense.
need a contract, yeah.
So I'm like, just don't insult people's intelligence and don't come telling me no willy-nilly stuff tonight. Because I'm not really for accepting it, but I'm for togetherness.
Frenchelle made a shot. She made the shot.
She made the shot.
Behind her
And
back
they were
from the
supposed
other
to give
side
her
of
the
the
basketball so she could shoot again, and they didn't. Sound like a
holding
sore
the ball.
loser to me.
They holding the ball like a bad referee with no whistle.
Not no whistle.
You ain't got no whistle, man.
No whistle.
The city of Tulsa ain't got no whistle. They just holding the ball. I'm like, bro, get a woman the ball. Let her shoot this game-winning free throw so we can get out of here and do right.
And go on ahead.
Greg, so do you right now when you said, because it to me it's hard because they scored, the committee, the community, city councils in position. People are in position. This is just live. I mean, how blatant can you be to stand in front of the world? What is that?
Come
Is that
out tonight,
spiritual?
6:30.
6:30.
But you know, and so I want to
get
throw
to
this
that.
out there too. It came to my attention that the city basically is saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to get some blowback from community, but that's okay. We don't care."
Yeah. That's the attitude. Somebody
That's
asked,
it.
why would they do this? It's a $250 million potential development
Come on.
in Greenwood. Let's not pretend like we don't understand what this is. Downtown Tulsa is growing and growing and growing.
Yes.
The land that's left to grow is
north.
our land.
Absolutely.
So while they're touting, oh, we want to be a better city, da 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 da, they're not going to just give us access to that kind of money.
Right.
That's the reality of it.
Because they know what we'll do.
That
They
changes.
know
That changes
we are
lives.
gonna be a game changer.
We've never
That
gotten
changes
an
lives.
actual opportunity. That's the black story in America.
gonna
Give
have-
us a chance.
Can I ask y'all both this because I know we're gonna go like 15 minutes long. I want to ask y'all both just to see this because I know y'all
This is
have
a special
in-depth
edition, so.
response. This is a special edition too. Mother Randall
Man.
is 109. Mother Viola Fletcher is 109. From then until now, they've been waiting to, in my mind, actually living, finding a way to extend their life to hopefully see something like this come to pass.
You think it's like they supposed to be alive to
They
see this
look,
happen.
they can't physically do what we do no more. They can't do that part, but they here.
They here. They
Just
here.
here is a show of strength. So when you see them come, because they'll probably be at Juneteenth, they come to Legacy Fest, they show up to the court, and they do what they need to do because they was there when it happened. And what we still trying to build back. So this is not like something so long ago we don't know nobody. Oh, it was so long ago we don't know. They still here. What do you think when you have to maybe talk with them a little bit about this and what we're trying to do?
That's a good question. Hard question.
And Uncle Red is in there too. I think he about 103, but 109 and 109.
I don't even know how to answer the question. Because, it's just frustrating. It's frustrating.
Disappointing.
It is disappointing. I mean, they're literally, God is allowing them to still be alive to hopefully see something like change. And, for me, being here, I'm not from Tulsa, but I'm here. My family is here. I got community here. And we fighting in our own respective ways, but not in silos and literally building and still getting these pushback after pushback after pushback. It's one of those things where like you'll see them and you will feel like you're not doing enough. But in reality, like, we don't have the power. We don't have the control. We don't have the resources that we know that if we get them, we're going to embarrass the city. And embarrass the city because what they have stripped for 102 years and more, I know when we come together, we can develop something in the next 2 to 3 to 5 years that will blow the city out the water. But because they don't appreciate blackness and creativity and collective knowledge production, or are fearful of a potential black mayor or an entity that will allow us to really be free and allocate resources and listen to people and be like, what do you need? Oh, this is an individual that needs to be a part of our ecosystem and our infrastructure. They're afraid of that. They're afraid because they've always been in the mindset of being selfish and allowing their power to dictate how they move. And so when it comes to, and for me, I haven't never met the survivors yet. I actually told Greg that yesterday. I'm like, before I leave this place, I gotta meet them because I need to be able to look them in the eye and apologize to them. Regardless of what I'm, Fire Little Africa, Dr. View, being with Greg, being with y'all, Bobby E, like, I have to look them in the eye and apologize. Because we have an honor responsibility to do something that has never been done before. And as you mentioned, the world is watching. And if Tulsa can get it, if Black Wall Street can get it together, I know it will be a blueprint for other Black Wall Streets around the world. But it really just takes us to remove our ego and to acknowledge the mishaps that we've done, but also move in a way where it's like we got to keep going. And I think that's why we're here today. We fighting for it.
Before we take a break, Greg, so Mother Fletcher, Mother Randall, Greg, here's this baton, man. Here's this baton. I'm trying to get it in your hand. I done did 109.
Right.
Can I please give you this baton, for whatever reason?
And the thing is, we taking the baton. We're taking the baton.
Yeah, I want to bring this back because I told you I was going to get on to y'all about the Black History deal. So I don't know when you was going to do the question, but we're going to do it now, okay? And I'm going to wrap this for you.
You're going to be here till we do
the one time in history that Black folks got what they wanted the most, they emancipation, was when the threat of the country was on the line.
Right.
Abraham Lincoln says, if I can keep this country together and free not one slave, I'll do that. And if I have to free them all to save the country, I'll do that. Yes, y'all don't understand this. The reason that the Emancipation Proclamation happened in 1863 is because Robert E. Lee was kicking the North's tail.
Oh, yeah.
And Abraham Lincoln needed to turn the tide. And so he He did the Emancipation Proclamation to get
Interest
black
conversion.
soldiers
Interest I'm telling you.
on our side,
Come on, man.
on the north side.
Yup.
Why am I saying that? Interest, that's exactly right.
Right.
The only time black folks get something from white folks, historically, is when the white folks have a interest in providing that. Now, I told you about the facts. It was 1865, you all, when the Civil War ended. The Emancipation Proclamation was 2 years before. Once he said that, them black soldiers got in there, and it was a wrap.
Yeah, it
a
was
year
over.
and a half later,
over.
right?
It was over.
And so, in April of 1865, the Civil War ended. 3 months later, the folks in Texas heard about it. That
Right.
is June 19th, 1865. Now, the reason some of y'all got the year 66 in your head is not because you're
1 year
wrong. Because 1 year later, Oklahoma blacks, those the freedmen, them the tribes
Yeah,
folks,
yeah.
there was a treaty. There was a series of treaties. The Chickasaw in April of 1866. The Creeks, June 14th of 1866. And then the Cherokees, June 19th of 1866, a full year after
Right.
those blacks in Texas finally got their freedom. Okay, I wanted to do that for y'all because a lot of times we got folks running this city who don't know nothing about real policy and don't know nothing about real history.
Right.
They just got positions,
Right.
and they using that to do what they want to do with it. Just because my skin is dark does not mean that my intellect is less than yours. In fact,
come
I
on.
have probably studied your system inside and out better than you.
had
And
to.
I think that mentality is the same one that Franchelle Abdallah has. I don't care if she hasn't done $40 and $50 million developments. I understand her potential.
Yes.
The community understood her potential,
Yeah.
and that's why they said we believe in her. That's why they need to be bending over backwards. That same thing that is in our blood allows for 109-year-old Viola Fletcher to be writing books to
That
this
part.
day. Quit playing with us.
Man, we're going to take a break after y'all.
Put your
This
belt
is
back on.
KBOB.
Took his belt off and whooped everybody.
89.9 FM World One Development News you can use. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to finally talk about this meeting tonight at the Greenwood Culture Center at 6:30. And now you see why everybody in this community need to be busting at the
Need to
seams.
be there.
Before we get to Juneteenth and have the largest one in the country, we need to have the largest meeting tonight to let people know what's on our mind.
Hey,
We'll be
Damali,
right
I'm
back.
going to tell you who is having a large meeting. It's Tyler Perry. He just finalized the deal and bought BET.
What?
Yeah.
And MTV, if I'm not mistaken.
And
What?
MTV. Yeah, I know
Including
that.
VH1 too.
Oh,
Yes.
VH1.
Sorry.
VH1.
That's
Big-
breaking news.
Big things
Yes.
happening. Fitting Back In is a reintegration program designed to help those released from prison to fit back into the community as productive, valuable members of society. They help schedule various classes such as anger management, substance abuse, and mental health. They also work with different programs in the community to provide job training. If you or someone you know needs help with resources in career development, employment, or housing, to find out more information, call 918-592-3500 or stop by 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
The 36th Street North Event Center is a full-scale event center where we share the experiences of the community. At the event center, you can rent space for weddings, birthday parties, receptions, concerts, Greek events, quinceañeras, and much more. We also do custom decor, linen, and centerpieces. We're located at 1125 East 36th Street North. To book your next special event, business gathering, or community event, call us at 918-200-9046. EduRec is a youth and family fun center located at 5424 North Madison Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At EduRec, we offer a host of activities for children and families of the Tulsa community at little to no cost. To find out about the many programs, activities, and services offered at EduRec, please visit our website, www.edurectulsa.com, or just give us a call at 918-430-3947.
This is news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the news you can use. Me dear, can you turn that down a little bit because the thunderstorm is in my headphones. Right here. It's like I'm DJing. That's DJ View over there. Turn them up, turn me down too.
Right.
That's the OG. I'm like,
All right, so if you guys did not get it, as Greg put it,
You got
the
it.
correct answer is C to the trivia question. Okay, so let's just go ahead and just let that go. So who was that? That was Michael and Jeremiah and I don't know who else. But anyway, the correct answer was C. Okay, and if you missed the answer, go back and listen. Rewind this and go back and listen to what Greg's answer was.
Yeah, it's live, y'all. Start
Yeah.
sharing this video right now, which is a lot of people already sharing it, but keep sharing it. I do want to be able to ask y'all this, and then I promise we're going straight to the 6:30 unless y'all do an extension on the answer. Quick shout out to Daryl Ross tuning in from Little Rock. Welcome to the show, my brother. Mr. AJ Johnson, which I do think about this. He said, is this basically a spiritual war? Is this just a physical war? And I'll add my 2 cents real quick and pass the ball. What I think when white people, I don't know what it would say it, man, we didn't do it. We wasn't here. I wasn't here then, and blah, 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 blah. What I always think is I do look at most things from a spiritual perspective because that's just how I am.
Right.
And my thought, envy, jealousy, racism, greed, all those things, that spirit existed over 102 years ago.
Right.
And I believe that's what burnt down Black Wall Street. That same spirit a little bit later, after they rebuilt it after 5 years and they came back with urban renewal, that same spirit of jealous and envy and all those things made them build that highway right through the middle, which you knew what was going to happen with that. And let's just fast forward it to 2023. With Franchelle Abdallah, all of the thousands of people that came out for the engagement, the committee that was put together, we got a city councilwoman that was black at the time, she was the chair. Jealous, envy, greed, and all those things. When you say $250 million, that same spirit, regardless of who you are and when you was born, or if your great-grandpa did it, I feel like that is what still exists today. Because you can talk to people and it makes sense. Dr. View, it ain't easy. It's not hard for you to explain something to somebody. Greg just broke it down. He knows the system better than they do. So to do right is pretty easy. So it got to get outside of just physical. This is like spiritual, like it's an evilness that says we want to keep our foot on your neck. I'm going to pass the ball, Dr. View.
Yeah, it's a spiritual death.
Spiritual death. Yeah.
They trying to kill us. Yeah, it's that as what Vanessa Hall Harper says. That simple. It's a spiritual death. They want it to be slow. They want it to be painful. They want it to be to the point where they feel like they making us crazy. That we the problem. When in reality, like we know what's up. Like it's very clear cut and dry what they are trying to do. They are trying to continue to profit off of our trauma. Day in and day out. We've already seen it with the museums of the world, and it's just continuing to happen with these new economic developments, and Evanston Tube is just a part of that same vein. It's a spiritual, social death.
They don't want us to read books. Y'all, they're taking books out of school. What that sound like? Whipping you for reading.
Yeah.
Whipping you for reading.
They can't learn.
Yeah.
You got basically a Klansman, okay? I'm sorry, I know the things I say, y'all don't represent y'all, but I say it. Ron DeSantis is a Klansman. Why am I talking about Ron DeSantis?
Florida.
Because he just got endorsed by our governor. Why am I talking about our governor? Because the Republican Party runs, forget the nonpartisan thing. G.T. Bynum is a Republican. He's not going to say nothing about Governor Stitt. They not going to say nothing about Ron DeSantis. Most of our elected officials are Republicans, right? This is the path that we have been on as a city and as a state for a very, very, very long time. You cannot ignore that backdrop. Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell is a Republican as well. And so when you come in and you tie this economic possibility right, to this incredible story of Greenwood, but all of the people in power, ultimately with the strokes of pens, are Republicans. And what that represents today in this day and age, we got to call it what it is. This is not some do-gooders that are just making different decisions. This is racism. It is pure and simple race. So I think it's spiritual, but I think it's physical as well. Like
spiritual need a physical body though, Greg. You know, if it's spiritual, it needs a physical.
Take me to church.
No, you been taking us to church.
Right,
I'm
for
just
real.
saying it.
Yes.
Yeah, that you might be too deep for me because
Right.
I'm just
No,
I'm
we on
getting
the same
slapped.
page.
I'm getting slapped by people in white
But when I
hoods in
think
my head.
when I hear him say spiritual, I think of holistic. So I think
Yeah.
it's the physical, it's the mental, it's the emotional, it's the psychological, it's all of that.
Right.
It's all of it encapsulated into one thing.
And it's the continually trying to convince us that we are not smart enough or good enough or that we can do this thing. We did it already. We already have the blueprint.
Yeah.
We created Black Wall Street.
They stole
We
it.
did that, right? You burnt it down because you were mad because we had better things in our neighborhood than what you had in yours. That has nothing to do with us. We did what we needed to do. We took care of each other. We looked after each other. That don't have nothing to do with anybody else outside of this community. We rebuilt it in 5 years. Where you know that people that do that? Something happened. Is New Orleans even rebuilt yet? From Hurricane Katrina? I'm just saying. But we rebuilt
going
Black
down
Wall
in New
Street
Orleans.
in 5 years. We did that. And then what do? You come through one more time, one more again. And eminent domain. Oh, with the promise of we're going to make it better. Hey, we was cool with what we was living. We was fine. So why are we, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't, so now what you're saying once again is we don't think you guys are smart enough
That's it.
to be able to construct something like this.
I know we could do it.
I don't even, sometimes I think it is like they really are that smart.
And
Yeah,
so
they
we
know
don't
we
want to
that
give them the
smart.
opportunity.
We don't want to be embarrassed by the fact that we've been moving in these ways for so long. We are that smart. They do
We
know
are,
that.
and they know.
Yeah, they know.
That's why it's always one of us on the
Because
team.
when the list of inventions come out and the first open heart surgeries and who really created the light bulb and who really won wars and who really got the ships over, who really did everything, who really showed you how to raise your kids, who really built the White House, who really figured out the banking industry. When you so that's really what we are. We gotta accept that, even
Gotta
though
call a thing a thing.
you got this other thing going on, but that's who we are, and that's what we got to instill because we still got kids coming up behind us. We still got kids and grandkids, so we got to try to make a move. But I'll say this, and I'll switch gears because we get into a 6:30 meeting at some point.
Y'all going to the meeting?
We gonna be at the meeting. We're gonna be the first one there. But we're just trying to get to why we need everybody to come out. I would just say in Tulsa, how I feel is kind of what you're saying is, man, white people get to live, we get to exist and survive. And it's different, and I say that because all of our buildings we do own. But I'll say that what I have to deal with every year is white people coming in with a pen and a pad, 80 years old. Can you explain to me how do you survive? Because you asked for 200,000, we gave you 10, but you're still here. Because we accustomed to surviving. From slavery to whatever we go through, is some kind of way we still gonna be here, and we laughing and smiling and joking, even though we dealing with trauma, we still doing that. But that's what I feel like they don't understand, because when they comes in and asks me, because you never know what may happen in this world.
That's right.
And the one thing we know is we can survive. Oh, when the whole financial market was about to crash, I was happy. Let it crash. Because now, when it crashed, we already used to making it. Ain't nothing to us. Go ahead, let it crash.
Right.
Because now we making it even. I ain't gonna get too started on that, but I'm just gonna say, Tulsa, sometime you're gonna have to look at it at some point and let people live and not just survive. We don't want our kids and our grandkids just to survive. And so don't smile in my face when you know I'm just trying to survive and you living, and try to help me to understand. We never gonna understand each other. When I'm surviving and you living, we never gonna understand each other.
No.
What's gonna help us understand each other is y'all doing right by this development. You can remove Franchell's name, but doing right by this development for the community, the people that came out, that selected their person. 6:30 meeting, Dr. View, why do people need to come out?
Everything we just talked about. Pull
6:30.
up. Like
Pull
this
up.
is, we don't ask for much.
Hey,
Cause we know people have busy lives and people working, they trying to survive. But like this meeting is a part of our livelihood.
Yeah.
Right.
And if we don't show up, like then they too will have to look at Mother Fletcher in the eye and be like, I didn't do my part. So it is open. 6:30. It is our responsibility to be there, regardless of what you got going on today. Like you have to be there because this is literally life or death. Like for literally generations to come.
Greg, speak to the people that want to come, but they scared to come. because of their job. Because there's a lot of them out there. They
It's
want
a
to come.
lot of them out there.
But you know what I mean?
They wanna
Those are the kind
stand.
of decisions that, to me, it's that big, what you said, Dr. View. Now, speak to the people that's listening in, part of the secret listeners. Man, I'm with y'all. Yeah, but are you going to show up?
Right.
This is Harriet Tubman all over again, 2023.
Are you going to show up?
In relation to your question, I know Greg gonna give you an answer, but this is Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman, we are asking y'all, do y'all want to be free? Do y'all want to be free today? This is step one in relation to liberation. This is where we going. This is the route that we got to take. Are you coming with us, or are you gonna stay? It's that simple.
It's real good. 'Cause Nat Turner asked a similar question. Berlinda Radney says all the time, civics is not a spectator sport.
She does.
Civics is not
Yep.
civics, meaning, and let me break
got-
civics down. That means the duty of being a citizen is not a spectator sport. It does nothing for you to look on Facebook, chew your popcorn, and talk about it while you eating that leftover fixings. Get in the space.
Well,
Get in the space. You don't even have to say, I'm going to tell y'all now, I got you tonight. You don't have to say nothing. Just come to the space.
Just be present.
Just be present.
just stand.
This might be some stuff where you just need to sit there and listen. That's okay tonight. Just come and be in the space.
Because not only does partner Tulsa need to be convicted, but some folks who are scared need to be convicted too, to get the reassurance that they can be in community with folks like Greg who will speak for us. So like it's just show up.
Yeah, you don't have to have an opinion yet.
Right.
You can come thinking that the other side was right. That's fine. But come. Truth you are. That's what I love. Why I never get mad at people.
Right.
Let's just get into a space where we can tell the truth, where we can understand what's going on. Because the truth of the matter is, people said they want a developer that is going to help build black wealth and build up a sense of black excellence. That is at the root and the core of this. Hey, as long as that is the final product, we're good. So it takes all of the other idiosyncrasies. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. So you don't have to know nothing about development. You don't have to know nothing about economics.
Right.
You just can know that you are proud of this community and want it to look and feel and be a certain thing into the future. And you already know that what Be Good Development put out there and the way they put it out there represented that. So what in the world could have been so horrid that you have to cut them off in a year?
And I will say this. I'm going to drop this out here for us really quick.
No, you got to tell people they got to come out. So what's
I'm going to tell them
the
that too.
people. Okay.
But I want to drop this real quick. While we were in Omaha, we actually sat with a developer who actually develops billion with a B, $1 billion developments all across this country, who said, bring me a contract and I got you.
Period. And this is the reason
Just
why she
wanna
says
throw that
that.
out there.
Because Franchelle Abdallah sat right across from us. We done already talked about it's bigger than that. She sat right here and I said, look, Franchelle, we got your back for whatever you need. And she said, this is what I need. We sat down.
We
$1 billion
did.
development.
We
did for 2 hours. If she needs $1 billion development, forget the 40.
So before we can get back to Tulsa to
Look,
bring the news,
I will bring
we
a
get the article.
team. If she need money, we'll bring that too. So y'all go do what y'all need to do, and we on the way.
Billion.
So it's not going to be no excuse, Greg, for okay, she couldn't to the development, and that's out the window now. If you give her contract,
Watch how the
then people ready to
conversation
roll.
shifts if that happens with the city.
It always shifting.
It can't get there though. That's the reality of it.
That's
This is a lack of confidence in a black woman. Let's just call it what it is.
Absolutely.
They would never do this to a white guy. They
Ever.
just wouldn't. It's a lack of confidence in a black woman. That's what this is. You do not have to have everything done before you get site control. Everyone that does business and land acquisition understands that. And when you're doing big business, it's about what can we do to close the deal. Everybody's supposed to be coming to the table at that point, trying to make it happen. Why feel like we on different teams?
Hey, we're going to see y'all at 6:30 tonight. Dr. View, thank you, man. We love you, man. Greg Robinson, as always, we love you, man. Hey.
Y'all need to be in the
6:30
space.
p.m. If you don't have nothing to say, this is what I'm gonna tell you. If you're a dad, look at your kids and you tell them, "Look, I'm either on my way, I'm a sucker.
But
I'm scared."
and this is a learning moment, even for
For
our
all
children.
of us.
It's
Well,
a learning
But
moment.
here's the
I'm bringing the
ticket.
babies, too.
If you don't feel like doing it for me, I do it for my grandkids.
That part.
And these next generation. So I'm gonna look at my grandkids and be like, "Hey, Pawpaw, be right back."
It's for them. It's for them
It
anyway.
ain't even for us. So if you scared for yourself, please don't be scared for your next generation, because if you don't do something, your next generation may be obsolete. So don't even worry about it.
Don't
if
be
you're that scared.
Don't be Samuel
Keep your
Jackson
job.
and Django.
Keep your job for 10 more
Django.
years, and don't even worry about your kids.
A bill that would have given OK Pop Museum half of the money it still needs to be fully funded is currently dead in the Oklahoma legislature. 18 million for OK Pop held hostage. How long they been trying to build OK
Man.
Pop? Quit playing with
Ever.
folks.
Yeah.
Development takes time. Quit playing with folks
That's
and
been
stop
like 10,
stealing.
15 years.
Stop stealing.
KBOB, 89.9 FM, World One Development News you can use. We'll be
I
back
up in here, man.
with the hot topics, even though it's always hot as can get. Much love to Dr. View, Greg Robinson. We'll see y'all at 6:30 tonight.
Yeah.
We'll be right back, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The all new KBOB 89.9 FM, Black on Black Community Radio.
And now it's time for the Hump Day Hot Topics with Charles and Damali.
hey, guess what day it is? Hump Day! Hump Day! It's Hump Day!
Hey, Mike. Mike.
That's what day it is!
It's the Hump Day Hot Topics on news you can use.
All right, all right,
Guess
y'all.
what day it is, Damali?
It ain't a fun day today.
It's doomsday today for somebody.
Tonight, 6:30, Greenwood Cultural Center. Be there. Make sure that you're in the place. Share this video, share, and show up. Just have your face in the place. All right, Hump Day Hot Topics. Let's hit Hump Day Hot Topic number 1. Juneteenth,
It's coming up this weekend, Damali.
happening this weekend. So although we got some crazy stuff happening in the city, it's all good.
We'll have some announcements after this for Juneteenth. We're going to have the largest in the nation, so hopefully we can get this right and we can have some good news.
Absolutely. So tomorrow, Profound Gentleman Luncheon is going to be taking place at 12:30 at the Synergy Building. I love this. This is a event that is going to be supporting Tulsa's male educators of color. Totally love that. There's going to be the Juneteenth kickoff party that's happening at 7 o'clock p.m. We're having Black Wall Street pitch competition that's going to happen at the Greenwood Cultural Center. So, I mean, there's a lot of great things happening.
Stuff coming up.
We got the Whisperers in town that are going to be performing on Saturday. Just a lot of great
Gotta
entertainment and yeah.
So share this video, and after the show, we're going to post all of those events where you can just click on the link, get here. Vendors are going to be everywhere. Food, fun, entertainment. Y'all Tulsa, you know how we do it. We getting ready to turn it up.
All right. And then the other thing, the Women of Color Expo is going to be happening. It's going to be happening on August 25th. But the reason I'm bringing it up and I have it as a hot topic is because there are some folks who actually won awards. This is a awards for women of color, as the title says. But check this out. Woman of the Year is Franchelle Abdallah, the director of Rebuild at TEDC
Yo,
Capital
drop one
and a
of those bombs
developer.
with that one.
Yes. Woman of the Year, okay? Let's see. Hairstylist of the Year, we have Sharnae Vick. She's the owner of Tulsa Gifted Braiders. Impact Recipient of the Year is our very own Christy Williams.
Just like
Oh,
that.
my
Shout out to
God.
Big
Yes,
Christy.
that's what I'm
She's
saying.
traveling right now. Shout out to all the winners.
Yes, and so there's a whole litany of folks, but we wanted to just make sure that you guys, participate in that. Get a ticket. The keynote speaker this year is going to be none other than Morris Ricky.
This man done squeezed.
Morris Chestnut.
Boom, boom, no Ricky.
He was drinking that milk, wasn't he?
Y'all is
Man,
silly.
he
Morris
was
Chestnut
drinking that
coming to town. That's a good one.
That's a good one
Y'all
right there,
are
y'all.
silly.
Player. What's up, Morris?
Y'all
Yeah.
get ready for it.
So y'all make sure that you all attend that.
Hey, shout out to Cecil Parker tuning
Hey.
in for us. What's up, Brad? He said that is truth. Absolutely. Let's go.
All right, upcoming events. World One Development is looking for volunteers to help serve the community. If you would like to volunteer or need community service hours, you can email me at damali.wilson@world1development.com. If you're looking to have an event, the 36th Street North Event Center has dates available. You can give us a call at 918-200-9046 to reserve your spot. Fitting Back In is still taking registration for justice-involved individuals in the Tulsa community. You can contact Christy Williams at christy.williams@fittingbacktulsa.org, or you can give her a call at 918-592-3500 to sign up. We are here to help justice-involved citizens thrive. Uganda missions. We actually sent money over to Uganda today.
Absolutely.
So if you would like to sponsor a child's education for one school year, consider making a donation to World One Development in the amount of $250. You can make that donation at worldonedevelopment.com/Uganda-mission.
Shout out to Pastor Kaperi Teddy and the whole team over in Uganda. Love you guys.
Our Community, Our Health is a show about health and wellness that can change your life. Our very own Dr. Andre Ferdue, who was on this earlier on the show, has assembled some of Tulsa's top black physicians to discuss health topics. Tune in every Friday at 12 o'clock noon. Black Wall Street Pitch Competition is going to be happening June 15th from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. at the Greenwood Cultural Center.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Hey.
First prize is going to be $10,000. Second prize is $7,500, and third prize is $5,000.
JB, let's put it together, baby.
Let's go.
As we said, Juneteenth begins June 15th through 17th. The Whispers will be on the main stage. That's why you hear them in the background.
Hey.
Activities like Profound Gentleman Luncheon, Black Wall Street Pitch Competition, art exhibits, music, 5K run, 1 mile run, yoga, kids zone, and more is going to be taking place. So don't miss out.
It's going down. Mr. Energizer, be safe coming to town. The energy is coming, baby. The Arkansas ambassador.
Okay. Theater North presents the Darktown Strutters Ball. Y'all got y'all stuff? Y'all ready?
Yep.
It's going to be happening July 29th. It's from 7 o'clock p.m. until 11 o'clock p.m. This is a fundraiser for Theater North. So we need to support black theater. It's going to be happening at the Greenwood Cultural Center, which is located at 322 North Greenwood Avenue. It's a dinner and dance with Dean Demerit Jazz Tribe featuring Bron J.
Y'all make sure y'all tune in. We're going to try to make sure we can let somebody win some tickets.
Yes, strut your stuff in your 1920s attire for the ball. There's going to be prizes for the best dress. Tickets are $50 and available on Eventbrite.
Was alligator shoes out in 1920?
Oh, not really sure.
I'm going to check and see because I want to wear gators.
Stop
Sunroof
it.
top with a gangster lean.
Hey, come on now. Drop that top on them.
All right, the back to school block party is going to be happening at Lacey Park on August 12th from 10 o'clock a.m. until 2 o'clock p.m. We got more information coming soon, but we want you to save the date.
Yep.
Spreading Hope Back to School Bash is going to be happening at B.S. Roberts Park on North Greenwood Avenue, August 19th from 10 o'clock a.m. until 2 o'clock p.m. There's going to be backpacks, school supplies, community vendors, community resources, food, drinks, snow cones, kids zone, music, and more. And then, of course, we already told you about the Women of Color Expo happening on August 26th at 11 o'clock a.m. So don't forget to get your tickets. Birthdays. Your uncle, Chester Fort, has a birthday on June 18th.
My uncle been looking 21 for about 30 years. I don't
That
know how
part.
old he is.
Yeah.
Shout out. Happy birthday, uncle. You're looking good, man.
June 19th is actually Lindsay Corbett's birthday, as well as Pastor Layla Caldwell.
Come on. Happy birthday, y'all. That's the family right there.
Don't forget, if you want to reach us, you can hit us up on any of our social media platforms. That would be World One Development, Fitting Back In, 36th Street North Event Center, or Edge Fund Center.
Damali, great show.
Yes, it was a great show, very informative. You guys need to go back and, first of all, share this video.
Share it first.
And then secondly, watch the video so that you can get speaking points or talking points. We don't know what this meeting is going to be like tonight. We don't know if there's even going to be an opportunity for a community to ask any questions.
Oh, we going to ask some questions. I can tell you that right now. JB Smooth.
We
Good job
ain't
today.
turning down
Yeah, we ain't
nothing.
turning down nothing. Yeah, ain't
Ain't
no
turning
telling you. I
down
can't ask no questions. I got some questions.
Got some real questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we ain't going to ask no
Real
questions.
answers.
Yes,
Right.
yes, or don't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some questions. Shout out to
It's
Greg
a community
Robinson.
meeting, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
can't
it's
ask no
going
questions.
down.
I'm doing what we want.
We
to do.
finna depot that thing.
Right, exactly. Hey, shout out to Dr. View for coming in. Dr.
Yes,
Andre
thank you guys
Ferdue.
so much.
Drink your water.
Yeah.
If you're sweating, stop. Go in the house.
In the
Go to
ghetto, they call it
McDonald's.
Perrier.
Yeah.
Just
Stop
like
it.
that. Damali, final thoughts before we get up out of here?
Final thought, we have got to be doers. We have got to take control of our narrative. We've got to control instead of allowing other folks to tell us what we should be thinking or what we should be doing. Now is not the time to sit on your couch and eat bonbons and say, oh, they'll take care of it. We need every face in the place that is concerned about Greenwood District and that is concerned about North Tulsa. We need you tonight, 6:30, at the Greenwood Cultural Center.
And for all of you that are streaming in live from all over the world, Damali and I will go live because
Of
we
course.
appreciate the love, we appreciate the support, and everybody that's been tuning in. Ernest Lynch, what's up? That's my partner. He said, Stacey Adam Gators, Charles. I said, okay. I'm gonna grab them.
Don't
But
encourage him.
Damali said, get up off of that thing.
Like Damali said, show up tonight at 6:30. We got to get out of here. This has been News You Can Use with your boy Charles Harper. That's me.
And with the special edition, Damali Wilson, that's me.
And we are live every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So make sure you tune in.
And I'm the special edition. If you would like to promote or advertise your event or business on this show, make sure you inbox us on Facebook at World One Development. That's on Facebook at World One Development. This has been World One Development's News You Can Use with Charles Harper and the magnificent, undisputed Queen of Radio, Miss Damali Wilson. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this program belong solely to the host and their guests, not necessarily to the station, organization, committee, or other groups or individuals associated with KBOB 89.9 FM. Y'all get on up off of that thing down there tonight. Be there early, 6 o'clock. Hey, that's the roll call. 6 o'clock. It starts at 6:30. So,
What's going on, Michael? Thank you, man.
We'll see y'all next week. Be easy. Just don't be soft. Yeah. Later.